good evening, good morning, whatever the case may be, to everybody.
Hello,
Hear me?
Facebook is ready.
Okay. So the first person is Felicia Chan from Malaysia. Felicia, how are you?
Thank you, Phrasuchart. Good evening.
What can I do for you today?
Okay, Phrasuchart. I can feel my samadhi is still like a magnet. Every 2 hours have to meditate automatically. But now I don't care about what kind of jhana and what kind of samadhi. I just focus on develop continuous mindfulness and calmness. And I find that mindfulness and calmness have many different levels. Both of them are related. When mindfulness becomes strong, calmness also becomes strong. If mindfulness and calmness are not continuous, very easy to be pulled out by 4 Namakanta. Sutapan can see 4 Namakanta because of continuous mindfulness and calmness. Is it correct?
Can you repeat again, please?
Okay. From the starting,
No, just the last sentence.
I mean, Sotapan can see the 4 Namakanttas because of continuous mindfulness and calmness. Is it correct?
Yes, and wisdom also.
Oh, wisdom. Okay, right. Thank you. Now I understand that only Anagami realm in Brahma world has Dhamma. Other realm in Brahma world cannot listen to Dhamma because they are in Samadhi stage. 6 senses very weak. When the Samadhi finish, will come down to human life again. This situation, just like we meditate few hours, when Samadhi finish, we automatically come out because of 5 aggregate and 6 senses.
Because of your defilement, your cravings, your sensual pleasure cravings. So it causes you to come back to the sensual organs so that it can then connect with the sensual objects.
Okay, thank you. The reincarnation is caused by 5 aggregate, especially Sankara aggregate. Am I correct?
No, it's caused by your cravings for sensual pleasures, craving for beings and craving for not beings. Sankara is just the instrument, the tools used by your cravings. If you have no cravings, then your sankara will not direct the mind to rebirth.
Okay. Brother, can living in Brahma world travel to Deva realm? Like I stay in Malaysia, I can travel to Thailand, I can travel to US, I can travel to everywhere.
It depends on if you have this special psychic power. If you have special psychic power, then you can. But when you're in the Brahma realm, you don't connect with anybody. Only after you left the Brahma realm and come back down to the Deva realm, then you can connect with the other Devas. But when you're in the Brahma realm, you're in Jhana. So you're not connecting with anybody. Only after you come out of the Brahma realm.
Okay, thank you.
And you have to have this psychic power to be able to connect with other devas or human.
Okay, now I know the mindfulness is very important because last time I get the wrong teaching. Like meditate so long, the teacher said cannot be so long. Last time, like meditate for many times. I meditate very long. The mind stop there is cannot like that. No vipassana. I get the wrong teaching. Now I can look the Ajahn teaching. The samadhi, the mindfulness is very important because from the samadhi to develop the mindfulness. The mindfulness is important, the most important. This only the way.
Yes, because mindfulness will be able to control your sankhara, your thoughts, your namakhandas. You can stop or you can direct it to move in whichever direction it wants to with mindfulness.
Okay, because no mindfulness not enough. We still think about the body is I'm the body.
That's because your mindfulness is weaker than your defilement. It's your defilement that causes you to think of your body as yourself.
Yeah, like I explained, like got two system, like two system. One is mindfulness system. One is what is it? It's
Defilement, delusion
definement
system. Delusion
Yeah,
system.
two system.
Yeah, and they are competing against each other for your mind's attention.
Okay, thank you. I'm Mudana Brajan.
So try to maintain mindfulness all the time.
Okay.
Then you can direct your mind toward Nibbana, not toward samsara.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Amutana Sadhu.
Next, Min from Bangkok. Min.
นมัสการค่ะพระอาจารย์ I want to understand more clearly about anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Like, how is the difference, especially anicca and dukkha? I'm still like confused.
Well, anicca is change. When your body change and it change in the direction you don't like, you get dukkha, right?
Oh.
If you get pimples on your face, you get dukkha because you don't want pimples on your face. Or when you got white hair on your hair, you get dukkha because you don't want your hair to be white. The cause of your dukkha is not the change, but your desire to want things to be the same. We tend to like things to be the same when it's good, right? We want everything to be good. But when things go in the other way, becoming not good, then you have dukkha. That's because you don't want things to change in that direction. So it's not change that causes your dukkha, it's your desire for something, and when that something change, then you get dukkha. So and anatta means you cannot control these changes. It's a natural process, like the weather. You cannot control the weather. To tell the weather today I want 19 degrees. Tomorrow I want it to rain. The next day I want it to have sunshine. You cannot control things. Everything is anatta. Your body is anatta. Things around you are all anatta. But since sometimes you can control them, you think you can control them all the time, but not all the time. When you cannot control, that's when you get dukkha. When things are not under control, what do you feel? Stressful, right? Everything is in a mess. Everything is a mess. And you want to keep everything in order. So you cannot keep them in order, then you become stressful, unhappy. So if you want to be happy, then you have to accept that things will be out of control. And be ready for when things go out of control, and let it be. You can let it be, then you will not have the dukkha. no suffering. You're just merely observing the change.
อาจารย์คะ and how do we know that we get until Appana Samadhi? How do we know whether it's
When you stop thinking, when everything is disappear from your mind, even your body sometimes disappear. Or sometimes it doesn't, but you don't react, you don't think, and you don't react to anything. Your body might be painful, but you will not react to the pain, like when you're not in samadhi.
and I meditate, right, พระอาจารย์ but I don't feel any like the ที่เขาบอกว่าปิติ and สุข and I just stay still.
You don't get there yet, so you have to keep on focusing on your meditation object.
Okay.
That's all for you.
That's
all. Next, Siddhartha Surya Mehta from Indonesia.
Good evening, Tanachan. I don't have any question today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Then we go to your sister then next. Really, she's your sister, right? Okay, really, you have any question?
Yes, Tanachan. I would like to ask your advice. After I'm taking medication for more than 4 months for my gastritis, it doesn't really recover. So it's like going better, but then worse at another time. So I lose faith on the medication and I stop it. And currently I'm trying to use a traditional medicine, and also I start to reduce my meals from 3 meals into 2 meals, because I heard sometimes it might help to cure gastritis, but also, it doesn't necessarily work for every case. But I think at the same time, I can start to focus on my practice, because I will stop eating after midday and I can focus on my practice. But then the condition is worsened actually. So I try to deal with the pain using mindfulness and wisdom. But sometimes when the pain is overwhelming, I tend to lose my mindfulness, and the wisdom is like cannot slip into the mind. Although I know the Dhamma about the body, I mean, I'm not the body, and I should. I keep telling myself that let it die if it should die, but it doesn't slip into the minds when the pain is unbearable. So how to deal with this situation then?
Well, you just have to accept that you're not strong enough yet to deal with the situation. So you have to practice more mindfulness. Your mindfulness is not strong enough to make your mind accept the truth. So you have to try to keep reciting a mantra all the time to stop it from resisting the truth. See, when you don't have mindfulness, it's your defilement is trying to resist the truth, trying to deny the truth. But if you have mindfulness, continuous strong mindfulness, you can stop this defilement from resisting the truth. I think you disappear from the screen. Oh, she's down below. Okay. Yeah. You have to unmute your microphone if you want to speak.
Oh, okay. So I just keep resisting on the mantra.
Yeah, just keep reciting the mantra for now. You have to build up the mindfulness and ubekkha. See, you don't have ubekkha.
Yeah.
But mindfulness will increase your ubekkha as you keep reciting the mantra. And then eventually you can then just accept whatever happens. Accept the pain, accept anything that happens. Right now you know the truth, but you cannot apply the mind to accept the truth. That's because it lacks equanimity. It lacks ubeka. And the way to get ubeka is to keep reciting the mantra. So you cannot be lazy with the mantra. If you're lazy, then you're not getting anywhere. Just like Felicia, she found out that mindfulness is the most important thing in dealing with the mental problem. Okay.
Okay, Tanachan. Thank you very much for your guidance.
All right. Next is Nanapat from Bangkok.
นมัสการค่ะท่านอาจารย์ Today I have one question ค่ะท่านอาจารย์ I have observed that when I wake up late I often have wet dreams how to avoid this situation ค่ะท่านอาจารย์
But when you sleep, you cannot control your mind. When you sleep, you don't have mindfulness. And part of the problem is that if you eat too good, if you eat a lot, it will cause you to have wet dreams. And also your lack of contemplation on asubha. So you have to maybe reduce your food intake and eat just enough to get by. Don't eat until you feel your desire. You know? Because when your body is well fed, it has this ability to give you wet dreams.
Okay.
If you fast, you'll find that you hardly have any wet dreams. Because your body does not have the strength to create this wet dreams for you. So for meditator, we tend to be very careful with eating. The Buddha said you have to know moderation in eating. Eat only just to keep the body going, but don't beautify the body. Don't eat for the sake of making the body.
Just to be only fit for hungry, don't for the food, right?
Yeah, just eat just to get rid of your hunger. Don't eat for enjoyment because you eat a lot, and then the extra food will cause you to have wet dreams, and also your lack of your asubha contemplation also.
Okay, I accept that. So I have to contemplate about the asubha for more mindfulness about this, right? So when I have the dream, will be get rid of it automatic.
Yeah, because the cause that caused you to have wet dream has been eliminated. If you keep contemplating on asubha and don't eat too much. If your stomach is hungry, you don't have the will to think of sex. Yeah. It's only when you're full then you'll start thinking about sex. If you're hungry, you only think about food first. So try not to let it be full. Keep it half hungry, half full.
Okay. ค่ะท่านอาจารย์ I understood ค่ะ
Okay.
That's all for me ค่ะ today. Thank you for your teaching ค่ะ
Yoke Bay from New York. Yoke Bay. Go ahead.
Good evening. Yeah, good evening, Rajan. Today I have two questions. One's for my friend. My friend asked me about that when her father passed away long time, and then also she went to ask like a momo and ask about her father, and he said the father is already go to the heaven. I don't know if it's true or not true. I don't know.
Well, we don't know whether he knows it or not. So just you don't need to know where he goes. Really, it's not necessary for you, not important for you. What's important for you is whether you yourself are in heaven or not. If you're happy, then you are in heaven. If you're not happy, then you are in hell. So I think you should be more concerned about yourself, not other people, especially those who already passed away, because it's very hard to trace where they are now, unless you have psychic power.
Yeah, because the Asian people, they like to fire with the money paperwork, the things for them.
I know, but that's ritual. It doesn't produce any fact, any truth.
Okay. And my next question is myself. The last week I asked you about my age. I'm 60. I'm working and do my meditation. And this point, can I stay longer? Like, for example, when I try to get retired 62, and otherwise I take my time to do my meditation. On this time, can I get the 4 jhana samadhi?
If you have strong mindfulness, you can. So it's a matter of keeping your mind mindful all the time, from the time you get up to the time you go meditate. You have to be fully mindful all the time. Not letting your mind go think about other things. Keep it in the present.
Okay, thank you, Prajan. Thank you.
Okay. Silky from Malaysia. Silky, you're next.
Good evening, Prajan. I have no question today. Just listening in.
All right. Karen from San Jose. Must be early for you, huh? 5:20 in the morning.
Yes, yeah.
How you manage to get up this early?
I actually started getting up early because of your advice, and when it changed, the 1 hour difference takes me about a week to adjust to, but it's quieter. I live in an apartment building with a bunch of old people, and it's a senior apartment building, and nobody's awake early, and so it's a perfect time for me to be able to meditate. And I take my dog out, and we don't run into anybody, and it just works out better anyway for me. So, yeah, but I don't have any questions. Anyway.
Okay.
Thank you.
Your second donation has arrived already. I think you have heard of.
Okay. I'm sorry I can't just do one big one for the year and I have to bug you every month, but I just have to do it that way right now.
Whenever you can.
Okay, thank you.
It's the thought that counts, not the amount. Okay.
A little piece of thought every month. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Melinda from Singapore.
No questions for now, Prajan.
All right. Johanna from Indonesia. You have to unmute your microphone.
Okay. Good evening, Ajahn. Today no question. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Lillian from Bangkok.
Good evening, Ajahn. No questions also, just happy to be listening in.
Okay. Kok Seng from Singapore.
Good evening, Ajahn. I'd like to ask for a lay follower, do we aspire to become a Sotapanna so that, as mentioned, the Buddha promised that we will become enlightened within the next 7 lifetimes?
Once you have attained to Sotapanna, you are guaranteed to become fully enlightened within 7 lifetimes at the most. But you can be enlightened even before that if you keep striving, keep practicing. Maybe in this 1 lifetime, you can attain. Once you get to a Sotapanna, if you have a good teacher around, he might push you. If you're not, sometimes you might take your time, so it might take longer. But with a good teacher, with a noble disciple teacher, he might try to encourage you and try to push you to keep on practicing rather than take times off, do something else.
Yeah. Okay, that's understood. Yeah.
Okay, but it won't be more than 7 lifetimes. And this 7 lifetime will guarantee that you will not be born in the undesirable realm of existence. You'll always be a human or a deva. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Ajahn.
Next, Kar Lim from Malaysia.
Good day to you, Tanajan. I have no question today. Thank you.
Okay. Monica, also from Malaysia. Go ahead, we can hear you now.
Good evening, Tanajan.
Okay. Any question?
Yeah, today I have a question. Over the weekend, I was keeping my 8 precepts. So as usual, I do my meditation at night also. In the middle of the night, suddenly I woke up and my mind was trembling, like as if it was like dying, there was a fear of dying. I can't feel my body, but so I was sort of like started to panic because this is not the first time I have this. I experienced once when I went for a retreat. Then somehow it subsided. Then it happened again, on and off over the years. But this round, I just woke up in the middle of the night and it happened. So then it just keep on, I can't feel my body. It's like the whole mind is being consumed by this trembling and like as if like I am going to die. Is it? Then I was say, what to do? What should I do? Then after that, I tried to recall back. I say, what is the cause of this? Maybe it could be I'm craving for the body, for my own body and for other people's body. Then after that, then I said, then I think back, yeah, nobody dies, no one dies, no one dies. Then suddenly the mind come down. So I do not know, because last time I asked the teacher, then they say, oh, you have to meditate more. So I think I would like to seek Tan Ajah's advice. How should I go about this?
Well, if you see that everything is anicca, then this can stop your mind from reacting, and accept the truth. Yeah. So either you see the 3 characteristics of existence. If you can see that whatever you see, whatever is happening is just a phenomena, and that beyond your control. And all you can do is just accept and let it be. Then your mind will calm down. But if you try to run away or have aversion for it, then it can cause you suffering. So the goal is to understand that everything that appears in your mind cannot hurt you. What can hurt you is your reaction to what appears in your mind. So you want to train your mind to not react. Try to keep it in ubekkha by either using mindfulness or wisdom. If you don't know how to use wisdom, you just use mindfulness like a mantra. Then your mind will come down. But in this case, you said you use wisdom, right? You say everything is anicca, everybody gonna die or not die.
I say no one dies. Because in my mind, I say the knower is there, the knower never dies.
The knower never dies, that's right.
So I say no one dies, no one dies. Because I was thinking, maybe there is a fear of death or whatever. I don't know why it is inside there, but I would say, oh, no one dies. Then it comes down.
Okay.
So I wonder whether Tan Ajahn has other advice for this in case it comes up again.
Well, you just have to prove it for yourself, whether it works for you again or not. If not, then you have to use some other method. You might have to investigate and ask yourself, what am I being afraid of? Who am I? You probably come back to the same answer that you are the mind, and the mind cannot be destroyed. Cannot. So once you realize that, then your mind might calm down and not react to what it appears. So this is something you have to keep testing your mind to see whether you got it right or not, or just happened to be an accident. But once you can calm it this way, then you should be able to use it again.
Okay.
If you truly believe that the mind doesn't die, then then you can get rid of your fear, right?
True. Yeah. Because last time nobody say that there is a knower, so there's always the fear. What happened to the body? Will it disintegrate? But knowing that, I think gives a lot of confidence.
Well, the body, is gonna return to the four elements.
Yes, true.
Eventually, but the mind will always remain as being the knower. It is one unit in itself. It cannot be separated or destroyed. But the body is a combination of the four elements. So when the time comes for it to dissolve, then the four elements will then split, go their different ways.
Okay. So this main reason is that there is the aversion, isn't it?
Well, the aversion comes from our misunderstanding of the body as being you, being myself, being me. In fact, the body is not you. The body is just the four elements. You just happen to be the mind who happen to possess this body or connected to this body through your consciousness. So when the body stops functioning or dies, then the connection becomes severed. The mind and the body then are not tied together anymore.
Okay. So can I say the main issue here is the aversion, right?
The aversion due to the ignorance.
Okay.
If you know the truth that the body is not you, and that you cannot stop the body from disintegrating, then you won't have any aversion. You will just have acceptance of the truth. You just remain non-reacting to the situation, just merely observing or knowing.
So if I were to go more into meditation, I would say this will definitely help, right?
Well, your meditation will help strengthen your non-reaction. You stop you from reacting. The stronger your upekkha is, and the stronger will you be able to not react to anything that happens. Because if you react, you tend to react with aversion or attraction. And then it can cause dukkha in your mind when you have aversion or attraction to something. So it's the mind's reaction that is causing dukkha to the mind, not what happens, not that caused any any suffering or dukkha to the mind. It's the mind reaction with aversion or with attraction.
Okay.
All right.
Yes. Okay.
So you want to train your mind to just to be merely observing, merely knowing. Whatever happens, just watch, just like watching a movie. You're not in the movie, so whatever happens in the movie won't harm you. Even a big explosion in the movie will not harm the audience, the person who's watching the movie. The mind is like an audience in a movie theater, just watching what's going on. But without mindfulness, the mind tends to become involved and think that it is part of the movie.
Yeah, true. I used to be very attached to the movies. I cry with them, I laugh with them.
Yeah.
I get sad with them. So now I know it's all attachment.
Now, if you have mindfulness, as soon as your mind starts to react to what you see, then you tell it to stop. It's just only a movie you're watching.
True. So
without
now
without mindfulness, your defilement will just push you to become involved with what you see, what you observe, and react.
Yeah, true. Okay. Yeah. I got it.
We are trying to retrain our mind to become just an observer, not an actor.
Okay.
Just to be an observer or a knower, not an actor.
Yeah.
Be an audience, don't be an actor. Don't go up into the stage and become actor on the screen, Just stay below and watch the movie.
Yeah. Still training.
Yeah. Watch
Still
everything
training,
comes and go. Everything comes and go.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Have to take a lot of blows.
When you go out of the movie theater, do you take anything with you? Nothing. Right? This world that we live in is like a movie theater. The mind comes in through the body by connecting to the body. But when the body dies, then the mind is forced to leave the movie theater. That's all.
Yeah.
And the mind doesn't take anything with it when it leaves the movie theater.
Okay. Yeah.
But while you're in the movie theater, if you're not wise, you will become involved with what's going on in the movie, and you can become happy, you can become sad, you can go crazy with the movies. Okay.
Yes.
Try to be an observer. Just be a knower. Don't be an actor. Don't react to anything. Then you will be safe. Your mind will always be calm and peaceful. As soon as you react, then you will lose the calm and peacefulness of the mind.
Okay. I will keep reminding myself of this. Okay. Thank you, Tanajan.
Reminding is not good enough. You should use mindfulness. Make it automatic. Mindfulness will stop you from reacting. The stronger the mindfulness you have. Reminding is not, and you forget more or less. You can tell me now you keep reminding, but you'll forget. Even just a few seconds from now, you'll forget already. And you'll start reacting again. Because this is how your mind is being trained. So you want to retrain it with mindfulness. Okay.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Next, Alfredo from Ubeka, Brazil.
Hi, Bante.
Ubeka land. How is Ubeka land?
Yes. Yeah. Yesterday, in my practice, I have a good practice, Bante. With my breath. My breath is life, not Jhana.
Okay.
But no Tanha is very good practice. It's difficult to have to good practice, have I had yesterday.
Okay.
I think is because I live one things in my life. When you get off any things, you have more easy, né, Bante?
Yes, the more you lose, the better you will feel, the lighter your mind will be.
Yes.
Whatever you have will burden your mind. When you don't have it anymore, then your mind become lightened.
Yes. Yes. Today I have a chief, magical chief. I take a chief.
You take a tooth out today.
The same Ajahn Chah. I take a chief.
I see. Okay.
And Caesar chief.
Okay.
And today at 5 minutes, I have to go to dentist.
To the dentist. In
Yes.
5 minutes from now, you have to go.
Yes.
I see. So you won't be here for long now. Today. Okay. Nice to see you. And
thanks.
Have a good appointment with your dentist.
Yes. Ajahn Chah is very dangerous, né? Teeth, all teeth are in your mouth and have a problem in your brain, né, Bante?
What do you mean?
Ajahn Chah, the master Ajahn Chah, Thailand forest. He take off all teeth and have problem in your brain to get off teeth.
Oh,
all
really?
teeth.
I don't know. This is the first time I heard.
Yes. Yes. I think our body is difficult to control, né, Bante?
That's right.
Take off all teeth is very dangerous because a problem in brain. You don't have take off all teeth. It's very dangerous.
Okay. I won't take off my teeth. I'll keep it.
Your teeth is perfect, eh, Bante?
So far, so good. So far, so good. But it's gonna be gone one day, sooner or later.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
See
Thanks.
you.
Good days.
Okay. Next, Alvin Lee from Malaysia.
Good evening, Dhammatalk. I don't have any questions today.
Okay. Go to your friend Philip and Adeline.
Good evening, Tanajan.
Good evening, Tanajan. I have a question on meditation. I do use Anapanasati and at times, and when there are also times that when my mind is a bit agitated or tired, I use the mantra to calm it down. The question I want to ask is that at the stage of where I stop repeating the mantra, or even when I'm doing Anapanasati, when the breath gets less and lesser and where there are no more thoughts and the mind comes down, I notice there's a slight difference in the quality of calmness between repeating the mantra and also using Anapanasati, because from my experience, I noticed that the Anapanasati, when you keep on looking at the breath, when the breath drops and when the breath drops away, there's still this knowing element at the back there, which is actually being pulled back, or just like observer sitting at the lake looking at things. Whereas when you drop the mantra, it just becomes totally blank. Why is that happening?
Maybe just your perception. The truth is the mind is always in the back. The know is always in the back. So it doesn't really matter. So long as your mind is calm and not thinking. That's the goal of doing meditation, to stop your thoughts. And if you thought if you can stop it long enough, it might enter into jhana.
Where it's also the point of at times when the mind stops long enough, there are certain reflexes in your body that is really out of your control, which is proves the point that your body and your mind are not are actually separate things. Like for example, automatic twitching for no what apparent reason. Or heat coming up from your body without you controlling it. At certain meditation point, you just sweat a lot, or there's a lot of heat coming up.
You treat it as anatta. See, just leave it alone. Right. When you meditate, you don't care about your body. You only want to focus your mind, to calm your mind, to stop your mind from thinking. That's all you need to know and to do. Other thing, if they happens to pop up into your awareness, just ignore them. Just keep focusing on your meditation object, either your breath or your mantra. Okay, and don't analyze when you do this. Analyzing is not the time, not during when you meditate for calm. Don't analyze. Just recite the mantra or just keep watching the breath.
Right, and it's okay. It's okay after a period of time, to drop the mantra. Or
yes, if you feel that you don't need the mantra, you can stop it and using the breath instead.
Okay.
But if there's no breath, then you just watch the emptiness.
Yes.
And don't let the mind think. That's the whole purpose. Keep it from thinking. Then you might eventually drop into calm, drop into samadhi, in which it will stop without having to force it, not to think. If you still have to force control your thought, then you haven't yet reached that stage, that point. That we call samadhi. When you get to samadhi, your thought will stop and you won't have to do anything anymore. You don't have to control your thoughts anymore. Okay?
Okay.
Right. Nothing from Adeline?
No.
Okay.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Next, Sajal Kar from Silver Spring, Maryland. Good morning to you.
Same to you. Thank you, Thanajan. Thank you for your teaching. I actually got the answer to my question that I was going to ask you from your answer to other folks, but my situation is that the life situation has kind of made me realize that as if my bad karma has ripened. The fruits of my bad karma has ripened, and those poisonous fruits actually I'll have to eat. But I kind of a funny thing that has happened, that I do not feel like running away or dealing with worldly things with worldly ways. I'm actually doing it as much as I can, and I can at the same time I can see that the problems are not necessarily going away in a timely manner or what have you. So it's like as if like my surroundings is like it's like burning, and I'm actually figuratively in a house that is burning, and all the people are kind of suffering, and I'm here and I'm suffering too. Sometimes I feel the heat, but I cannot run away from the heat. I can kind of want to stand my ground and do the worldly ways and a lot of times aware that this is really not the solution. This is really not the solution. But this is what I mean by like eating the poisonous fruits from my bad karma. And I think I could use some advice, and I think some of the things that you are talking about just now actually answers them. But practice per se is very difficult at this point because I'm pulled in all directions, to act in worldly ways, dealing with worldly problems, and they're not going to go away anytime soon. And I'm not getting any younger. So it's like a kind of very interesting situation. And I'm not running away from Dhamma, but I think that I should practice more, but it's almost very difficult, almost impossible. So I think I'd like to hear your comments.
Well, it's up to you, see what you want to do. You can practice, or you can do whatever you used to do. It's a choice you have to make. We all have the same 24 hours a day, right? So you can use this 24 hours a day practicing meditation, or you can use it for some other thing. So in this regard, you have to decide for yourself how you want to spend your time that you have now on mind development, or try to develop, or try to solve all the problems that you have, which doesn't really matter anyway, because when you die, all these problems, whether they're solved or not solved, will be no problem to you anymore anyway. So why don't you pretend that you are dead now? So then you don't have to solve this problem. And you can take your time and solve your mental problem, which is more important.
Speaking about mental problem, that is actually the issue that's one of the family members is going through, as I mentioned some time ago, and so that is being dealt with. But it is a process that is not going to go anytime soon. So I cannot run away from that. There's the question of the responsibility or something. But I think about like Lord Buddha's historical Buddha had a newborn child, and I studied this thing that he walked away from it all, really, right? So at that time he was not even enlightened. He just went to become a monk, right? So, but why can't I do that and be okay with that? No.
Yeah, that's because you don't have the strength to do it, really. You don't have the mindfulness and wisdom to lead your mind away from everything that you are attached to right now. You cannot sever this attachment because you don't see them as being dukkha, being problematic. They are problematic. So it's not running away from problem. It's running away from problem, but this is the way of the wise person. When you see a problem, you should stay away from problem. Don't get into problem or troubles, right? But since you have this notion of they are belonging to you, then you'll find that you have to somehow solve this problem. But we can see that they don't belong to you. Sooner or later, you're gonna have to be separated from them anyway. So why not be separated from them now, when you can still have the time to go do something useful for yourself? But again, if you go, you probably find it difficult to practice anyway, because you haven't yet developed enough practice to be able to do the practice. So you just have to try to practice where you are now and solve your problem at the same time. Divide up the time, half for your practice and half for solving other people's problems. And as you do practice, your mind can become stronger and stronger, and maybe you'll start to see the truth of existence, that everything is anicca, dukkha, anatta. Then you will be able to let go of your attachment. Because your dukkha, your suffering is caused by your attachment to these things. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Next, Sui and check. Okay, bye-bye, Alfredo. Goodbye. Sweden Czech from Vancouver.
Good evening, Tanajan.
Tanajan.
It's almost 6 o'clock for you also, huh? 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Yes, Ajahn.
Okay.
Yeah, Tanajan, like my question is, when I do Anapanasati, like I switch between my breath and reciting Buddha. Sometimes I feel when I reciting Buddha until my mind get really exhausted, like or want to stop reciting. Like, should I go to the breath or should I keep doing it? Like it's like push.
You can try it either way. If you feel tired, then you can stop and watch your breath instead. If you can keep watching your breath, then it's okay. They can be replaced by one or the other.
Okay, so the mind will get tired when reciting Buddha sometimes.
Yeah, it can get tired also.
Oh,
It means
okay.
it means it wants to rest now. See, it wants to be calm because
Oh, yeah.
you use the mantra to tire the mind so that it stops thinking. Then once it starts thinking so much, then you can observe your breath.
Okay.
If your mind is still strong, you can keep thinking and you find it difficult to focus on your breath. So you use the mantra to tire the mind out, make it doesn't want to think anymore. Then you can watch your breath.
Oh, that's when the mind get rest when watching the breath. And then actually I'm using a sankhara, the effort to reciting Buddha.
That's right. You use the same sankhara for Buddha and for thinking about other things. So when your sankhara becomes tired, then you also don't want to think anymore. Then you can watch your breath.
Okay. Yeah, clear.
All right.
Yeah.
How about
clear.
you, Jack?
Ajahn, I had a dream that I have a massive blood loss, and I thought I'm going to have a sudden death. I think I remember your teaching right away, Ajahn, that the body doesn't belong to me, and it's helpful to calm the mind down. But it was a dream, Ajahn. So it's not real.
Well, the dream can also indicate the level of your mind reaction to things. So if you don't react negatively, you can let go, then it means you will probably be able to do it in real life when it happens.
But I caught myself something, Ajahn. When I woke up, there's a gladness in the mind that's not real. So I'm still attached, I think.
Yeah. Then you can counterattack, but it's gonna be real sooner or later.
Yeah, I did have that. I did teach myself that, Ajahn. Because I remember your teaching, and I did teach myself. Oh, Ajahn said it's going to be real, so you better don't believe that it's not real. It's going to be.
Yeah, you just get a reprieve, but not an amnesty. Sooner or later, the punishment will fall on you again. And you have to be ready to accept it.
Yes. Right, Ajahn. Ajahn, I have a question. To my understanding, like the Brahma world, they are in Jhana. The mind is in Jhana state.
That's right.
how come the anagami in Brahma world can do vipassana and become arahant?
Because the anagami enter into the Brahma world not by mindfulness but by wisdom, by the eradication of the sexual desire. So the mind becomes calm like in jhana. Because the cause of the mind not being in jhana is because of your sexual desire. Once there is no sexual desire, the mind will automatically become jhana. But become jhana with wisdom, in which the mind can still continue on thinking and investigating and contemplating. That's different from when you use mindfulness to force the mind to stop thinking, to enter into jhana. With the anagami use thinking to cause it to enter into jhana, by getting rid of the sexual cravings, by using asupa. When sexual desire is completely eradicated from the mind, then the mind will have no cause for it to be agitated or restless. So it becomes jhanic right away, automatically. So it can continue on practicing, developing more wisdom to get rid of the remaining fetters. So it doesn't need to be reborn as a human to continue on practice. You can continue on practicing in the Brahma world, as opposed to those who enter the Brahma world by merely concentration with mindfulness. They were not able to contemplate or do any wisdom development because they don't know how in the first place. That's why the Buddha said his two teachers who were capable of entering into jhana, and once they die, they will stay in the Brahma world, like in staying in jhana, not thinking, not contemplating. And when the mindfulness weakens, then they will take rebirth again in the human world. But by that time, maybe the Buddha's teaching might already disappear from this world, so they would not be able to benefit from the teaching of the Buddha. Unlike the 5 ascetics, they were still alive. And they also have their mind also have jhana. See, they already, all 5 of them have practiced jhana. So he went to them first to teach them the Dhamma, to teach them the 4 Noble Truths. And once they heard the 4 Noble Truths, they know where the problem is in their mind. And the problem is in their cravings, sensual cravings, cravings for being and cravings for not being. So they just got rid of that real quick, and they became enlightened right away after listening to the Dhammatalk. But with the 2 teachers who die and exist in the Brahma world, the Buddha cannot communicate with them. It's like they turn off their phone, no signal, cannot connect with them. But if they're in the Deva world, they still have their phone turned on, like his mother. So he can connect with her and taught her the Dhamma until she became a Sotapanna. Okay.
So the anagami also turn off the phone already?
No, Anagama doesn't turn off the phone. Just keep working. Wisdom keep turning. Automatic wisdom. We call Mahasati, Mahapanya.
That's the only realm that can in Brahma
can continue on practicing Dhamma. There are 5 of them, I think, if you read in the script. There are 5 levels of this.
Yeah.
For an anagami to exist, there are 5 in the Brahma world. There are 5 different levels. Maybe due to the different ability of getting rid of the 5 fetters, and I'm not sure. You might first enter the lower level, and then when you start to eliminate one fetter, then you move up to the next level. And when you get rid of all the 5 fetters, then you're out of the samsara.
Oh, that makes sense.
So, Tan Ajahn, for anagami, like if they want to connect with us, I mean from the Brahma world, so they can connect with us.
Not really, because they're not concerned about other people. They're concerning about what they have to do.
So
and they want to do is to protect the mind, to keep the mind from being caused, from being under stress. And they keep looking for the cause of the stress in their mind, which are the 5 fetters. 5 upper fetters.
Yeah.
And the anagami had already got rid of the 5 lower fetters. But he still have the 5 upper fetters still lingering in his mind, which can cause stress at any time when they appear. So he's trying to get rid of all these 5 fetters. So he has no time to think about other people now.
Okay.
It's not like you. You're not worried about yourself. You worry more about other people.
That's the problem. Okay. Yeah. Clear.
Well, your question indicates the level of your mind. Indicate that your mind is not inside. Your mind keeps coming outside.
Yeah. So their mind is really inside.
Inside and trying to look for the 5 fetters and get rid of them.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Thank you, Tanaji.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, Kenneth, Professor. You finished your teaching today.
Yes, I'm finished now, Thanajan. Thank you.
Okay. Any question?
I have no questions at the moment, Thanajan. Thank you.
And then we go to Vignesh. Vignesh from India or Sri Lanka?
Hello, from Malaysia.
From Malaysia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Today I have no question. Just would like to listen.
Okay. Then let me go to Kate Genso, also from Malaysia. Penang.
John, no question. Listening today, John.
Okay. Bruce Lee from Indonesia.
Evening, Ajahn. No question for now. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Gary from Singapore.
Good evening, Thanajan. No questions from me tonight. Just listening in. Thank you.
Okay. Se Yuan from Singapore.
Hi, Ajahn. No question for me as well.
Okay. Forrest Tom from Boston, Massachusetts.
Hi, John. I don't have any questions right now either.
Okay. Then we'll go to Facebook then if there's any questions from Facebook.
Yes, we have 2 questions and a comment this evening. The first question is from Tae Ling Loon. Hello, Bante. Is it normal for my spine to straighten itself naturally when I enter a deep state of calmness in my mind?
Well, when you enter in the state of calmness, you disregard your body. So whether your body will be in any position that's irrelevant to the mind at that time.
The second question from Tae is it difficult for ordinary people to obtain the first jhana? If so, why?
No, everybody can attain to jhanas if they have mindfulness. If they don't have enough mindfulness, then they cannot get into jhana.
The second question is Tony Yip, from Tony Yip. Good evening. I have a question regarding rebirth. The Buddha mentioned that there is no self, and he said only 5 aggregates will be reborn and in rebirth. He also mentioned that they are not the same aggregates also. So is the 5 aggregates in rebirth just a phenomena? Thank you, Ajahn.
Well, the 5 aggregates, you have to divide them into 2 parts, the physical part and the mental part. The physical part is the rupa aggregate, the body. This is not the same body. When this body dies, then the mind will then repossess a new body. This is why we have rebirth. And the nama khandas, or the other 4 khandas, they are the same one, but they might have different what you call they might be thinking differently, think about different things. So they're not thinking about the same thing all the time. You don't think about chocolate every day, right? You think about chocolate today, you think about pizza tomorrow. So this is what makes them different. They keep changing their mind.
We just had another question that came in from Panyawati Sayale. Namaskar,ท่านอาจารย์ On the 19th of January, I will fly to Thailand, and I'm giving up everything in Germany again, but not sure where to stay in Thailand. I have no place yet. Slowly thoughts enter my mind like, maybe it's better to be in Germany because of the virus. You are an old woman, 60 years old, Meshi. Nobody will take you because you have no group and so on. The thoughts sound very reasonable, and I'm not sure if they're wise or Mara. Can you please give me some encouragement, please?
Well, before you go in someplace, you have to be sure that you can go there and stay there, see. So you have to make contact first to the place where you want to go. Unless you want just to try your luck out and just keep trying from place to place. That can also be done. Just go to one place and see if they will accept you or not. If they don't accept you, then go to another place. Just keep going. Eventually you'll find a place if you really want to do this. But if you are hesitant and you're not willing to go through this process, then you might find maybe it's easier for you to stay where you are. So it depends on what you want and what you will get from what you want. If you think coming to Thailand and practice will give you better result, then maybe you want to come to Thailand. But if you think that staying in Germany give you the same result as you will get in Thailand, then you don't have to come to Thailand. You just stay in Germany and do your practice there. So it's not a matter of defilements or what. You have to use common sense here. Yes, if you use emotion, it can be defilement. But if you use common sense, then it might be wisdom, might be Dhamma. Dhamma is always common sense, not emotional, but rational. So you have to think rationally in order to make up your mind which direction you want to go.
We have a comment from Claudia toท่านอาจารย์ค่ะ. She's glad to be able to watch your teachings on Facebook today. She doesn't have a question, but she has a remark. I have only 3 more pages left to translate the book ofท่านอาจารย์, and it's the first draft. The Pali English German translation of the Pali terms is a challenge, but it's a good practice in patience. And she wishes all of us to be blessed by triple gem. So that's her message, Ka.
Thank you. All right. Now we have answer or have all the questions asked for the first round. So if anybody wants to ask on the second round, you're welcome to So go
Karen.
ahead.
Karen.
Karen? Okay.
There we go. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I lost
Perfectly.
myself on my screen, but okay. I'm wondering, when I'm meditating, sometimes I will have anger or memory about an argument or something negative. And I'm wondering if I should just ignore them or if I should try replacing it with a positive thought, because I had read that at some point.
If you can ignore them and continue on your concentration on your meditation object, that's the best option.
Okay, that's what I thought. So I just wanted to clarify. Thank you. That's
Okay,
all.
but sometimes if you cannot focus on your meditation object, then you might want to use metta, forgiveness, to the person that you were angry with, in order to calm your mind, calm your anger, and then come back to your to your meditation object again. So it depends which route you can take. If you can just ignore and continue on with your meditation object, then just do that. But if you find it impossible to focus on your breath or on your mantra, then you might have to come back and deal with this problem by using the positive thought, like you said, like metta. If you can forgive the person, then you can get rid of your anger.
Thank you. Actually, thank you. I'm glad I asked you because that does work. Sometimes if I just take a second to just go, I wish you well, or, I forgive you, and then I can move past it. But I wasn't sure if I should take that time to stop and think for that long, or if I should try to just keep swimming through it.
Yeah, if you have strong mindfulness, if your mindfulness is strong, you might be able just to keep pushing forward with your concentration.
Okay, I'll try that. Yeah, I'll try to just to spend a little more energy just ignoring it and
see if you
how.
can do it or not.
Okay,
If
yeah,
not,
thank
then
you.
you come back and deal with it first.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Next, anybody?
Yes, Nanapat.
Okay, Nanapat.
ท่านอาจารย์ may I ask for more question? If I investigate and found that my life is impermanent, and the way to make my fullness stronger is to stop working, and I consult my family and they accept it, and I can manage my money status. Is it enough to decide to stop working, ท่านอาจารย์
You have to decide for yourself. I cannot decide for you. This is a personal decision. So, because really, if you really can meditate, you don't need much money.
ค่ะ I found that I don't need much money, and the way to practice the best for me is to stop working right now.
And if you don't mind where you stay, what you eat, then there won't be need for any money. Because if you can stay in a temple, you can always say, I can eat whatever the leftover, for instance. If you can do that, then you won't need to have any money to buy food. You can eat the leftover food from the monks, for instance.
Okay.
So it's a matter of how well you can cope with the poverty type of existence. If you can live in poverty, then you don't find the need to have much money. But you might keep it for some emergency use, like maybe sickness or something. But it's just for food and for a place to stay. You probably don't have to pay. You can live in a temple somewhere.
โอเคค่ะท่านอาจารย์ That's all.
But you might have to give back by doing some work, helping some work. But not all the time. But just the the necessary work, let's put it that way, like helping in the kitchen, cleaning dishes or whatever. But that won't be all day, just maybe just for maybe 1 or 2 hours, you might have to do some work like that to help out in the temple. Think of it as a payment for your food and your rent. Then you will be welcome to stay. But if you don't want to do any work and you want to stay there and not do anything except meditation, maybe you might not be welcome. What the temple will require of you, what they want you to do beside practicing. Okay.
โอเคค่ะท่านอาจารย์ thank you ค่ะ
Siddhartha.
Yeah. So I have a question, Tanajan. So lately I start developing a tendency to sleep, not because of sleepiness, but when my mind is in a rough condition, like having a very bad mood or losing the motivation to practice. Sometimes I just sleep to skip the time, like just to fast forward the time. And I have tried some of your advice, like trying to recite the mantra for like 10 minutes. I actually tried to time it with stopwatch, and then I just sit, and then before I decided to sleep, I tried it. And true enough, my mind gets better, and I have more energy to push forward a little bit more before I decided to skip the time. Like I do chanting, like reading the Mahasatipatthana Sutta for another 1 hour. But then afterwards, I sometimes I still fell to this habit. So I would like to ask your comments or some more tips, maybe, so that I don't indulge too much in this kind of bad habits. Thank you.
Well, you have to get up and do walking meditation also to keep your body and your mind active. If you sit, it can become lazy and sleepy. So you might have to do walking meditation to keep you awake and keep you active. And if you might find drowsy while you walk, you just have to push it through. It can be broken, your drowsiness. If you insist on using mindfulness as you walk, eventually this drowsiness could be broken by your persistence. But you have to keep pushing yourself. If you give in to drowsiness, then you will never pass this stage. You always got stuck with sleepiness or drowsiness. If you have sleepiness or drowsiness, you have to keep on walking, even though you feel like falling down asleep. You just have to keep using the mantra with your step, Bhutto, Bhutto, as you step. And eventually, the sleepiness will be broken. I did this before too. I was trying to walk, and my mind just keep on, I don't want to, I want to sleep. I say, you cannot go to sleep. You have to keep on walking, using Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. And eventually, this drowsiness will be broken, this sleepiness, and you feel like you just woke up from a long sleep. And then you can practice. This is one way of getting your laziness, getting rid of your drowsiness or laziness. The other way is you have to eat less, you have to fast, for instance. If when you're hungry, you don't feel sleepy. If you're full, then you want to go to sleep. So you have to have an empty stomach in order to keep you awake. or you have to go and stay with somebody who will keep pushing you to do the practice. Like in some temple, they will have schedule that everybody in the temple will have to attend the practice. If you cannot motivate yourself, then you might need somebody else to help you, to motivate you. Okay.
Thank you, Tanajan.
But the important thing is mindfulness. Without mindfulness, even if you try to force to walk, you won't be able to break through your sleepiness. And if you use mindfulness, Bhutto, 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 it will eventually break that drowsiness.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Next, anybody?
Yes, we have another 2 questions from Facebook.
Okay.
Yes, we have a question from Kelly Zhang. Sawadee ka Ajahn. I feel angry with my mother easily as she often refuses to listen. Not that she has to do things my way, but seeing her ignorance, I want to help her, but she never listens. I feel so sorry for my mother who didn't go to school, but also no interest to find out more or learn from others. To avoid getting angry at her, I just try not to speak to her. We live together. I tell her every day that I don't want to get angry with her or raise my voice, but being with her always raises the fire in me. What else can I do but to talk less with her, Ajahn? Thank you.
Well, you have to stop your expectation from her. Don't expect anything from her. Don't even want to teach her anything. Just leave her alone. And then treat her like a stranger, somebody you don't know. Then you won't have any desire to help her or to do anything for her. Because she doesn't want anything from you. So you should just leave her alone and just go about doing your thing. One for yourself and for her. If you need to support her physically, just support her physically. But don't try to support her mentally because she doesn't want your support.
The next question is from Tay Ting Loon. How do I progressively stop identifying myself with the 5 aggregates?
Well, you have to first use mindfulness to stop thinking. But your identification comes from your thinking. If you can stop thinking, and then your identification will also stop. So try to use mantra to replace your thinking.
That's all, Ka.
Okay. Anybody? We only have only 2 people.
Sui and check.
Sui and check, okay.
Pan Ajahn, I have a question on drowsiness. Like if we feel drowsy, like can I continue doing sitting meditation and then keep doing it until like it just like break it itself?
When you're drowsy,
feel sleepy, yeah, I keep meditate and in a sitting like environment. But at one point, like it's just like my body drop and then I become awake again.
Okay. If it's awake, then okay.
That's okay, right?
Yeah.
Didn't happen for a long time now, but
anyway to get your mind alert again, any method will be okay. Some people go take a shower or wash their face. Take a cold shower, don't take a hot shower.
Yeah, many years ago when Czech registered me for the first 10 days retreat. So early morning I took a shower, but it's still hard. Like
some people use fasting or reduce food intake to keep their stomach hungry, so they don't feel sleepy when you're hungry. You can go to sleep right when you're hungry.
No.
So why don't you use that? Make yourself hungry. Don't eat too much.
It helps, yeah. Now we eat like 1 meal a day. It helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tan Ajahn, like when we use our mind to think, normally we think with our body. Like, am I right to say that it's the mind-made body?
No, you don't think with your body. You think with your mind. Your body cannot think.
Oh yeah. But then we imagine, like when we imagine, or my like go and eat this, I'll go and eat that, or go to that places, right? It's kind of like background with a body.
Yes, you assume that your body is you. So you think in terms of your body, not of your mind.
Yeah.
So what does that do?
Going back, like for Dewa, like they don't have body, right?
But they have they have mental body. They still like in dreams. You can dream and you can still be going to a restaurant and have food in a restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you have mental images instead of physical image. You have mental images when you dream, when you go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Then your mind generates this body, this physical body in the mind. You experience, you go in places, you go and see movies, you go and do things. Yeah. But it's all in your imagination.
Yes, imagine the mind generate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The problem is not the mind or the body. The problem is your cravings. That's that's caused you to dream about food, to dream about going places. It's your sensual pleasure craving.
Sure. That's the only way we can use mindfulness to.
So you need to stop the sensual cravings by first get the mind to jhana. Then secondly, teach yourself that if you continue on with your sensual cravings, it can cause you to run into dukkha sooner or later. When you're not able to do what you wanted to do, to see what you want to see, to hear what you want to hear, to eat what you want to eat. So this kind of pleasure is temporary and eventually will lead you to suffering. So it's better not to use this type of pleasure for your happiness. You should instead use abstinence and come back and meditate instead. Stop going out to your sensual objects, sensual pleasure, and use the pleasure from peace and calm instead. Then you eventually will be able to give up your sensual pleasure cravings forever. Like kicking the habit. People sometimes they have pleasure from smoking, they have pleasure from drinking, but they realize that they're not good for your body, right? So then you force yourself to resist this pleasure, this craving, and once you stop doing this for a while, then your craving will disappear.
Okay.
But in order to do it painlessly, you need to have jhana. Because whenever you want sensual pleasure, you go into meditation, you go into jhana instead.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Tan Ajahn, can I have one more question?
Yes, go ahead. We have plenty of time tonight.
For like treating parents, you just say like sometimes you can, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, you can, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, treat them like a stranger. That is when you can, like, treat them like a Like, for example, if they are like toxic, or like if they are like,
if you cannot connect with them, then you just treat them like strangers.
okay, like
Like
with respect.
when you engage with them, it becomes toxic engagement. It's better not to engage, right?
Okay, okay.
But you still have to do your duty as a son or a daughter to your parents. You still have to respect them, love them, and looking after them. If they need food, you have to get food for them. If they cannot get it for themselves, then it's your duty to do it for them. But mentally, you just try to look at them as strangers, so that you don't want to get involved personally into their personal life. You know.
Oh, okay. This to protect our mind.
Yeah, from getting too involved in their personal lives. Leave them alone. Their personal life. If this is the way they want to live, they want to be, then leave them alone.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes you don't want people to intrude into your life, right? You want to be left alone.
Yeah.
Not trying to teach you, oh, you should do this, you should do that, right? Why don't you think back every time you try to teach somebody to do this and that? Ask yourself, if they do this to you, how would you feel like? Then you maybe say, yeah, maybe, I forgot this fact that I also might not like what people try to tell me what to do. Even it's good for me, but people don't want to be told. They want to do it themselves, find out for themselves what is good for them.
Okay.
So they resent you every time you try to teach them something.
Yeah.
When they're not willing to listen to you. So you have to see whether they're willing to listen or not. Like me, I look at you and I think you want to listen to me. That's why you come into this meeting. So I can tell you whatever I want to tell you, right? But if you don't want to listen to me, then I won't try to tell you anything. Because it will be counterproductive.
Okay.
And cause resentment and bad feelings and bad relationship. So why do this? You're doing the bad relationship by your own action. By trying to force somebody to do what you want them to do.
Okay.
Even though it's good for them, but they don't want to do it. You have to respect their personal thing. You don't want to invade into their privacy. Okay. But sometimes a good intention make us forget. If somehow once you have good intention, you have the right to just tell people what to do, force them to do this and that thing. This is not right, Good intention alone has to follow by good action, not bad action.
Okay. So like let's say if we disengage like with them, and then sometimes they feel, oh, you disengage with us, and then but that's okay.
When they want you to engage, then you engage. Everything is fluid, everything keeps changing. So you have to know when to engage and when not to engage. You don't want to go to the either extreme, either engage or not engage at all. You want to be in the middle. Take the middle way. So you can be ready to engage and be ready not to engage.
Okay.
But we tend to go on the extreme, like, okay, you don't want me to engage, forget about it.
That's a question, yes. Yeah, so,
and when they want you to engage, you don't want to engage with them anymore.
Yeah, like people are so hard, right? It's like because
this is being emotional, see, when you do this. You have to be rational, then you can stay in the middle, in the middle path. Ready to engage and ready to disengage, depending on the circumstances.
Oh, okay.
because you have good intention, you want to help them, you want to make them happy. So you have to know when to engage and when not to engage. If engaging now makes them unhappy, then you stop. If they want you to engage, then you should engage and make them happy.
Okay.
But it's hard to do if you don't have a bekha.
Yeah.
Because you either have aversion or attraction. Keep swinging like a pendulum, go from one end to the other, not in the middle. Ubeka is in the middle. The pendulum stay in the middle, so it can swing either way.
Yeah, and not affected by anything happen.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Tanajan, for your teaching.
Sorry, not a question, but just the I want to ask permission if I can contact Karen. I'm not sure.
Well, ask her, don't ask me.
Yeah.
maybe you can send her a chat message. I think it's
I think we have the chat already.
Okay, you can send chat to Karen now.
Thank you, Amin. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanajan.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, anybody would like to ask any more questions? Siddhartha again.
So I'm following up the previous question about living with parents. Since currently I'm staying with my parents and practicing here, both of them are, I would say, very spoiling to me. Like they do not say anything with what I want to do in the home. Like if I want to isolate myself, do not talk. They won't bother me at all. And but I'm afraid I'm being inconsiderate, like taking things for granted. So I would like to ask, like, what would be the principle when, like, I'm staying with my parents? Like, how far should I keep it to myself, like just isolate, like in a retreat mode, or how far should I still engage in a more familiar way? Like,
well, you have to see what you need right now. You need to be alone more or less, So you have to find out for yourself the amount of being alone and the amount of being engaged with other people. If you feel maybe you should contribute something to the community that you live in, then you might have to do some community work, like help clean the house or whatever. But if you feel that you are allowed to not to do anything for the community because they want you to practice all the time, then you can do that also. So you have to look at the situation. Okay.
all right.
I don't know how to really tell you. You have to find the balance yourself.
Because both of them are does not say verbally like their expectation. So I was like, I'm afraid to go too far. Like,
but you can always talk to them. You can always ask them, how am I doing? Am I not doing right? What is there anything that I'm not doing right? The Buddha taught the monk when we live together that we should be open up to criticism or correction. So you can tell your parents, if I'm not doing anything right, you can please tell me. I'll be happy to correct my behavior, for instance. You should allow them to criticize you, to tell you if they feel that you're not doing something that they like you to do, want you to do. This is the part of living together. You want to be able to communicate and let each other know the faults of each other so that we can then try to correct the faults. So you have to be open to criticism by telling them, if I'm not doing anything right, please tell me. Okay.
Right. I'll try to do it.
Yeah. Okay, anybody else?
Yes.
Okay, more Facebook question.
Yes, we just have one question. Yes, we just have one question that came in, and it's from Tating Loon. What is the right time to speak, to teach someone, and to give advice? When should I just ignore and walk away?
When they ask you, then you can teach them. If they don't ask you, then you don't have to tell them anything. If nobody asks you for direction, you want to go tell them which direction they want to go. But if they ask where is San Jose, how to get to San Jose, California, then you tell them. Or go ask Karen. So you have to wait for them to ask you, really. Except if you're parents and you have to guide your children, then you have to tell them. Because this is your duty as a teacher to your children. You have to teach them the right way of living, for instance. If they're doing something wrong, you should tell them to stop. But once they are grown up and they are independent, they're no longer dependent on you, then you have to wait for them to ask for advice before you can give them. Okay? Okay, Forrest Tom, you have a question?
Hi, Tanajan. I also have a question about, I'm living with my parents right now after staying in the monastery, and I feel a lot of confusion about my relationship with them, but I don't know why I'm confused. And I keep thinking about how to get rid of this. But I don't know. I don't know what I should be doing about it.
Well, if you're confused about how you should deal with them, then you should talk to them. Yeah.
It's not really confused about how to deal with them, but when I think about them, I get confused.
About what? Confused about how?
I don't know.
Confused as to how you should deal with them, or how you should look at them, treat them, or what?
I guess how I should think about them.
Well, you should always think them to be somebody that has done a lot of things for you. You should be grateful to them all the time. Okay. Because without them, you won't be here today.
Yeah.
They are your creator. They are your God, You should look at your parents as your God. Okay. Respect your parents and do whatever you can for them. When they need your help, you should not abandon them. You should not forget them. Mm-hmm. You should always treat them nicely. You should always remember what they have done for you, raising you, sending you to school, and all these things cost money for them, but they're willing to give it to you freely. Nobody else in this world loves you more than your parents. Think of it that way. Then it will make you to want to love them. If you don't think about the things that they have done for you, then you might not think they're worth anything. Then you might not treat them properly.
Okay.
They deserve all the respect that you can give them. Respect and gratefulness.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep reminding myself about that.
Yeah. Tell yourself that without them, you won't be here today.
Yeah.
Without the kindness, without the sacrifice, you won't be here today.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you, Tanajan.
Okay. More Facebook question.
Yes, we have one question that came in from Liu Yu Meng. How can one transcend beyond the conventional truth to the ultimate truth?
By meditation. When you meditate, you enter into the ultimate truth. When you enter into jhana, you enter into a different world. From the sensual world into the non-sensual world. And that's only half of the way. Then once you can get to jhana, then you want to use wisdom to send you away from the sensual world permanently. With mindfulness, you are only separated from the sensual world temporarily. When your mindfulness weakens, you will then be driven back into the sensual world again, into the conventional world. But with wisdom, you will see that the conventional world is the world of suffering, and it's the world you don't want to live in, to be in. Then you then keep yourself away from the conventional world forever. Okay. Anybody? Lillian, you have any question today? We still have about 10 minutes left.
Actually, I have, but was just thinking about it. About parents as well. What if since young, your parents don't actually communicate so much to you? How do you deal with that? How do you communicate with parents who don't actually communicate so much to you?
You don't have to communicate if there's no reason for you to communicate. Only communicate only when you have to communicate.
But it gets confusing because they do have expectations, but they don't tell you what.
Ask them and tell them anything you want from me, let me know. I'll be happy to. If I can do it, I'll be happy to do it for you.
Okay.
Show your gratefulness. That you owe them a lot and you're ready to pay back anytime they want you to do something for them.
Okay, I will try, but I wish I can do that so easily, but it's just not the kind of relationship we have since we were young. So it's very hard to communicate directly.
You took them for granted. You took them as your servant, not your master. Your parents should be treated as your master.
Yes.
But you treat them like a servant because they've been serving you for the rest of your life. Half of your life, they've been serving you, raising you, do things for you all the time.
That's
so you treat them like servants instead of treating them to be your master.
Actually, what you said just now was very true about no one will actually love us more than our parents and the sacrifice that they've done. I'll definitely put that into my mind.
Yeah. Then it will make you it will make you want to love them. And you will ignore all the weaknesses, all of the things that you might be critical of. Because they're human like you, see. They're not perfect. But one thing that is good of them is that they raise you, they give you birth.
Yes.
And this is something you cannot deny. Even though if they become a thief or something like that, that's the problem. But that doesn't erase the fact what they have done for you.
Yep, that's true. Thanks for the reminder, Ajahn.
Okay. In Buddhism, we consider being grateful to your parents a very important quality. To be a good person, you need to be grateful to people who have been helpful or been helpful to you.
Yep, that's true.
You should never forget their helpfulness. You should never forget what they've done for you. and try to pay back whenever you can.
Okay. Thank you for your reminder, Thanajan.
Okay. And never bite at the hand of who feeds you.
That's true.
Never bite at your parent. Never bark at your parent. Never say a bad thing about criticize your parent.
Yes.
Just give it to yourself inside, but you don't have to say it out.
That's true. Thank you.
All right. Okay, Billy, you raise your hand.
Yes, Tanajan, I would like to ask the follow-up question from Siddhartha's question since now we are staying at home. So I used to help my mother in the kitchen, but since I want to focus more on my practice, I asked her permission to be relieved from the duty, because for me personally, I feel that if I still engage in the daily work in the house, then I will engage in the conversation and things around in the house. So I feel it's more difficult for me to practice
I
that
think
way.
it's
So
an excuse of your defilement. Your defilement don't want to do work, and you use practice as an excuse. And when you have the time to practice, you fall asleep. You become lazy. So maybe sometime doing the public service work is good for you, to raise your energy, raise your alertness, and you feel good also that you are contributing to the community.
yeah, because although my mom say it's up to me, but I can feel that she is happier if I still help in the kitchen. Yeah, I still help her.
Because she's kind, she loves you, so she spoils you. See.
I see.
But
Okay,
you should be considerate. You're part of the problem, so you should help solve the problem.
Yes.
Like eating problem and cleaning up the house problem. You shouldn't leave it to other people.
Okay, because I was thinking if I still go in the kitchen, is it also a defilement because I can escape from my practice for like 1-2 hours? So
You have all the other times. You just
yeah.
only spend 2 hours in the kitchen. You can use that as a trial, as a test of how far you have gone on your practice. Can you maintain mindfulness while you're working? Can you maintain equanimity while you work? While you do work in the kitchen?
Okay, I see. Yeah, because it is more difficult to maintain.
Because if you're alone, you're not doing any practice anyway, right? You're fighting with other type of defilements, maybe sleepiness or some desire to do something else, like you say, watching comic books or something. So better get yourself busy doing something to prevent this other type of defilements from coming up.
Okay, understand. Yeah, and I also don't feel bad because I feel bad if I choose to, like.
Yeah, you'll feel happy that you're doing something for your parents.
Yeah.
Don't cry afterward when they die and say, "Oh, I should have done this and that for them." Do it now. A lot of people cry when their parents die and say, "Oh, I should have done this and that for my parent more." You should do it now while they're still alive.
Okay. So whenever they need help, I mean,
You see them doing something, just go ahead and help them. Do it for them even.
Okay, I see. So instead of like close the eyes, like in the retreat mode, I only isolate myself kind of thing.
Yeah, you're living in a house,
It's
living with
just
your
a
parents.
consequence.
Yeah, you should help lighten their burden, not increase their burden by doing work for you. What you have to do yourself, your own work, you should do it, not let them do it for you. You're grown up now, you're not a small kid in which your parents will do everything for you.
Okay, I see. Thank you, Tanajan.
Okay. You can consider this as a dana, doing something for other people. It's like giving, not money, but giving your time and giving your effort.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's part of the practice also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because sometimes when we practice meditation, we tend to be selfish, not knowing it. We just pretend that we are practicing the higher level of Dhamma. And and ignore the level of Dhamma, of not being selfish, of sacrifice, of sharing, of helping. So you have to balance this too, When it's time for you to help, to contribute to the community, then you should do it. When you don't have to, then you can then concentrate on your meditation practice. I think this will help balance your practice and give you some change of pace, also make it more lively.
Okay.
We monks have to do community work. In the temple, every monk has to contribute to community work, sweeping the community, the temple grounds, going on alms collection together, doing things together. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tanajan.
All right. We have exactly completed the 2 hours. So if anybody has any more, okay, Kunjup from Facebook, some more questions?
Yes, we have about 3 questions that just came in. The first question is from Panyavati Sayale. Tanajan, what about if parents abuse the children? It happens a lot in the West.
Well, you have to, first of all, forgive them. That sometimes they are not able to control themselves. So they then vent their anger or frustration on the children. And sometimes the children themselves contribute to the anger also by being too naughty, by not being doing things that they should be doing also. But other than that, I think you just have to just accept your karma, that you're just unlucky to be born with angry parents. And try to protect yourself if you can. If you cannot, ask for help. If it's possible, ask for help.
The second question is from Pauling Soon. How do we become a good person from the Buddhist perspective?
Just by being nice. A good person is a nice person. Person who treat other people nicely, well, and be helpful, be kind, not hurting other people.
The last question is from Liu Yu Meng. How can one strike a balance between conventional, materialistic life with the life of an 8 preceptor? Thank you.
Well, you can divide up the times. Half of your time for the conventional world, and the other half for your meditative world. So you have to divide up the time. You might have to decrease the amount of time you spend for the conventional world, like entertainment, and only spend the time for what is necessary to do for the conventional world, like maintaining your life, your body. Then you can have more time for your meditative world. Okay. Well, I think that's about it for tonight. Thank you very much for your participation, and I hope that you can benefit from this meeting again tonight. And if all goes well, I'll probably see you next Tuesday. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tanajan.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Tanajan.
Tanajan.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you,
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Agnes.
Thank you, Admin.
Bye.
Thank you, Joe. Bye.